Zoom in one more time. I'm curious, will this hold if we take simple off? Let's just see how this plays. It is somewhat holding, and I'm happy. Ooh, look at that. We were able to zoom out one more as well. See, this is what I'm talking about here, fam. I love the fact that I want to be able to zoom out a little bit more. Like this viewing angle here, like if I could zoom out one more time, I feel like I would be in a really nice sweet spot. That's where your boy wants to be. Just so we can see a little bit more of the landscape. Also being able to see fights that are potentially going on at the edges or even little battle groups that might be preparing. Those are things that I want to be able to see and just have a little bit more of a clearer picture. So yeah, not bad. Not bad. We got to see, what does the power look like here for them? Let's see real quick. So we have, yo, shout out to my boy J-Derb. Yeah, man, one of the OG Kingdom 65 project players that was with me there. Let me see if I can load up the scout real quick for this. Where am I at? SB2-3. Where am I? 403, 10. Here we go. I'm going to see if we can get a look real quick at some power. Dude, look at all these people running the Margaret Zendaya builds. I still got to catch up here. Okay, we're at 14 likes. I appreciate it. We got 6 more to 20, fam. We can do it. Again, if you're just tuning in with us now, we are basically having a period of time where we're going to be watching a lot of SB2 at minimum, KvK Wars, as Zone 2 just opened yesterday. And pretty much in the past 24 to 30-ish hours. And these are, again, made up of some of the strongest alliances, the strongest players, and some of the players that spend the most amount of money on the game. So there's a lot of fighting that has been breaking out in Zone 2, and we're here to try and cover as much of it as humanly possible, along with any maybe younger KvK seasons as well, if we end up finding any kind of dying out moments. And thankfully, the off simple mode at mid-recommended graphics is holding up decently well, which I'm always going to be a fan of. So I just want to point out, right, EIS is an LSK. They're splitting decently right now, right? This line is pretty wide. It still could go a bit wider, but this is not bad, right, as far as coming in. ROE doing a decent job even on their width spread, right? You can kind of see that they're almost matched line for line, right? So if you're looking at it here, it's kind of like line for line here, line for line there. You see the spreads on both sides. This is decent. This is a little bit more of what we're really looking for. I'd like for them to fill out this area and also fill out a little bit over here. Same thing, right, where it's like fill this out, curve that. Same thing over here. Curve this up here as an example, right? Really fill out the width as much as you can, because those who can take the most amount of advantage within the space that they have to be utilized for them is really going to be having an edge. And this is already, again, I would say this is already a good example of what I consider to be decent spread. By both sides. I mean, a little clustered, a little clumping here in the middle from EIS, but really for the most part, right, they are all spread and really widening themselves a good amount. And that's what I like to see. Because now it's really just, okay, where are the groups, where are the pockets that we're going to focus fire, and then also taking advantage of the outliers, anyone who's kind of overextending or just kind of off to themselves, right? Are you going to be moving left and right, or are you just going to kind of hold your lines and spread as much as you can? There's a couple ways that you can play it out. Even here, right, because there's some cliff areas, they could even be having flying units, right, coming across the river from the west, if it's ROE, ROR, or ROPR, if that's right. And then on the east side, same thing with the EIS and LSK. Ooh, excuse me. Right, being able to maybe send some flyers over the mountain ranges and kind of attacking some of the supply lines going back. I mean, there's a number of things, right, that could be happening. It's just, right, how much are we going to be able to see within this current line of sight? Yeah. No, but they are going at it right now. Ooh, you know what I got to do? I always forgot this. Here we go. Is that the Discord too? I always forget to put this one in. Let me scroll down here. Pin. Awesome. There we go. I always forget to pin that early. But yeah, again, for anyone who's interested as far as getting notified whenever we do go live or we have new content coming out, I just posted and pinned a message on the chat where we'll have Discord information, and then for those that are interested in supporting beyond just the standard viewership. Ooh, was that negative 41K damage that I just saw? Ooh, negative 12k damage there on that one. That was nice. Is Praeth still in EIS? I need to check real quick. Didn't I just load up the board? Oh, I did. Let's take a look here. Oh, yeah, she is. No, she's in LSK now. Okay. So power right now for this matchup, right? It's ROE, ROR, which are 1 and 3, and then EIS and LSK are 2 and 4. So the matchup, I'll just show it to you real quick over here. There we go. So you can see ROE is at 13.4, EIS, I mean, this is pretty much, I mean, this is as close as it freaking gets, guys. This is like, again, we would need to do a T5 breakdown specifically to look at how that looks going up, but at least alliance power to alliance power, I mean, they're within 150 mil and they're within 100 mil. Like, this is a pretty straight up matchup right now. I think NTS just isn't really here in the fight, right? So it's, let's see, Preya, 273, ROE, Emperor, Dark Elves, LSK. What's he have? Yeah, let's see. How about Alliance merits? What are we looking at right now? So EIS, ROE, close, and then LSK, and ROR is up here. So what's that? 35 mil difference, but here 25 EIS, ROE. Okay, so not bad. Right. I mean, again, on paper it looks pretty good. Yeah, right. Yeah. Sorry, Zach, you asked earlier. Guys, 2 more likes until 50. We can do it. Appreciate you guys. Sorry, Zach, you were asking earlier. I wish you could cover COD full time. Reckon they'd sponsor you? So, well, first and foremost, thank you for the kind words. I very much would love to be able to cover COD full time. You know, honestly, being able to, you know, if I was in a position to where I could cover COD, and even beyond that, you know, the kingdom builder genre, but mostly COD, right? COD, and then just kind of bleeding over into kingdom builders as a starting point. I'd love to, if I was there at a point. I mean, technically, like, could the developers? So, I mean, if you're asking generally, or if the question is being asked, like, could the developers sponsor, you know, some creators, and, you know, pay them enough, even if it's like a minimum, like just to like do content full time? Yeah, they could, right? I think it's no mystery that games like Rock, COD, you know, Lords Mobile, State of Survival, the list goes on, Whiteout Survival, etc. Right? They make a lot. I'm sure they make a lot of money. And could they? And again, I'm talking creators that, you know, are showing consistent investment, and it's just a matter of they just don't really have the means to like cover as much as they'd like, but they've shown you that loyalty, they've shown you that consistency, they've shown you that willingness to put forth that amazing effort in a number of ways. Like, could the program say, yeah, look, we're going to, you know, sponsor a couple people, and, you know, we'll, you know, pay you enough to where you can, you know, like, you know, cover your bills and expenses, right? Like, enough to basically where it could justify you doing that. Sure, like, that could be a thing. I don't know anyone that does that, as far as any devs that I've heard of, right? And I'm talking like before you're making that amount already on YouTube, as an example, or through other means, right? You know, for me, in my case, it is just a little bit different because, you know, in usually the average people that stream, the average people that produce content, I would argue are a little bit younger than me. And due to that, they most likely have more average available time than I do when it comes to putting out content and streaming. Excuse me. So, from there, you know, like for me in my situation, you know, as most people know, I got 3 little girls, and I work full time, hanging out with the lady and a lot of family as well that they have. So for me, it's just always a little bit more limited. That's why I try to typically kind of min-max the efficiency and passion that I have for the particular type of content that I like to produce and put out. And it's enjoyable for me. I love doing it. Would I love to at one point in time do this full time? 100%. I would. But just in order, it's like with anything in life, right? In order to be able to do that, you need to be able to, be making enough to, meet your basic means. So it just happens that my basic means is me plus, my kiddos. And lady, of course, too, as well. So, but one day I'd love to. Because I can tell you right now, if I was, I'll say this. If I ever get to a point where I am producing content full time, that would mean that I'm making enough money to cover my expenses and then hopefully, maybe a tidbit more. At that point, I would immediately start saving and aiming to invest in upgrading my rig, upgrading my camera, maybe getting a green screen, looking into just a lot of different things that I'd love to do that I think I could really I really feel like I could put out a really dope, unique product for not only COD, but just kind of kingdom builders in general. Things that, things that from like a lot of the content that I produce and a lot of like the data collecting and research that I do, I think we could like really make a really cool show that we produce when it comes to live streaming and probably even carrying over some of that as well to post-production for some of the videos. Because most people know I'm like Mr. One Take right at the end of the day. So I don't typically do any editing unless it's absolutely needed or if I have to cut something out or trim something off, but I just don't want to redo the video. So, but that's me. And, I think, so it's more live stream-esque style, right? Because when you're live streaming, you can't cut anything, right? You can't edit, you can't do any post-production stuff, right? Because everything's in real time in that moment. So, I very much like to try and emulate and embody that as much as I can. I just think that there's a lot of good takeaways, and it's also a good learning experience as well when you can bring that back to regular videos. I just, I think like with anything, it's just trying to be as concise and as detailed as possible when you're going in and doing content. But anyways, I feel like I'm getting off on a tangent now at that point. Hopefully that answers the question. Zach. Yeah. But man, EIS and ROE, man, they are still in LSK. They are still going at it, just banging nonstop. Gotta love it. Yeah. Scoobser, what's up? Welcome. Sneaky says at the start, I believe the power was 14.3 billion for BDO and 13.7 billion for NASA. Okay. Rap, what's up, man? You got a NASA member in chat asking for an interview. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to do that kind of stuff, right? Where we, like maybe we're watching a big war, and the war comes to an end. Everyone's kind of like getting off, and then we do some kind of like post-war interview with players from both sides, and we do that live. Like that could be really dope, right? I feel like I'd like to be a little bit bigger before I potentially do something like that, but yeah, like ideas like that are great. I mean, we've done that. We've done it a couple times. I think we did it with Naf and Jason as well. Like two or three seasons ago, we did something like that. But no, it is a good idea. She says, would be fun if you could evolve your commanders, for example, turn Guanwin into a super epic. Makes epics more relevant in the game. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you want my honest opinion, I just don't think that they should have tiered heroes. I think they should just have heroes. I don't think that they should call them anything. I don't think they should have them as uncommon. I don't think they should be called epic. I don't think they should be called legendary. I think you should just have commanders, right? Commanders or heroes, whatever you want to call them. But there's no distinguishable tier label, right? To me, that's the way I think it should be. I mean, the challenge is that, and the reason I say that is because if you look at most Kingdom Builder titles, after a certain point, they're mainly producing whatever the highest tier unit is and coming out with that as new heroes or commanders anyways, right? Like, go and look at Rock and count how many legendary heroes there are, and then look at CoD and count how many legendary heroes there are, and then how often you see uncommons or epics being released, right? Rarely ever. So, right, it just, I don't know. To me, it's just, I feel like if I was going to make a kingdom builder, there's a good chance, a very good chance, that I would just not have any tiers, because I just feel like it's kind of pointless, because you're not getting an even spread of them, right? So it's almost kind of like I don't want to say it's a lie, but it's definitely misleading in that sense, because you are not having an equal number of all the different tiered heroes that are being released equally, right? It's, we'll give you like a couple here and there when the game is starting out, or maybe like throughout the years we'll like drop one epic or two epics here and there. But the majority of the time, it's the highest tiered hero or commander that is being released as new heroes on average. So it just, I don't know. I don't want to using the word like scam is not, I don't think that would be appropriate. That's too aggressive, right? Again, I think misleading, misrepresenting like the balance of tiered heroes is probably more appropriate. It's just not the way that I've seen it really go. And that's not to say that every kingdom builder does that, but the ones that I've played, that's been the consistent trend that I've seen. So, if it was me and I was going to make my own kingdom builder, which I'd love to at one point in time, don't get me wrong, man. If I was making that Chizgul money, I would. I say that loosely too, because I have no idea how much he makes. But right, if I was someone around that size, dude, I would be saving money to invest in my own kingdom builder video game project, and I would without a doubt make the best kingdom builder ever that's out in the market. And that's not saying that in any kind of cocky or arrogant way. I just have no doubt and the utmost confidence in my own abilities to be able to do something like that, given the amount of games I've played, the amount of research and data that I collect, the amount of people that I talk to, just understanding the game from a different avenue than what I would argue is kind of like the average creator in the space, just based on some of the content I produce versus others in the kingdom builder space. Sometimes you just need a unique perspective when it comes out. But yeah, man, that'd be really dope if I ever had the opportunity to do something like that. Yeah. Maybe what I should do is I should just reach out to like the top 25 players and start being like, hey, can I pitch you my idea to make a kingdom builder, and you guys can just angel invest? Right? I should just go to Neff and be like, Neff, dude, listen, I want to put out a kingdom builder game. Are you cool with investing? He's like, sure, bro. I have no idea. But that would be cool. Right. Again, I'm probably totally getting off topic at that point, but hopefully you enjoyed that little rant. Yeah. Kevin, what's up? It's NA. Oh yeah, sorry. Kevin was the one who said there was any downtime when we were watching that fight earlier. Ooh, my bad. Was that a little bit low there? Here we go. Oh, dude, I'm happy that the simple mode off is actually holding up well. Yo, we're already at 21 likes. That's what I'm talking about. Keep those coming. We got 4 more until 25. You guys can do it. Appreciate the love. Yeah, people are like, oh my gosh, Boss, you're streaming for a second time on the weekend? I know, right? Listen, man, I try. I want to... Oh, good. I already answered that. Dude, they're just still going at it. Little bunching right here. No, get off the lizard. But EIS and LSK, right, still doing a good job here. Humble pie. Let me get some of that humble pie. But doing a good job of spread. Right, a little clump right here. This isn't bad. A few people over here too as well. Yeah, man. I totally love to see like some flying units or some cav being utilized here and just flanking. right? I mean, like, look at this, right? Like, they could be spreading over here as well and, like, coming across here as an example. Like, dude, this is something, this is actually an opportunity for Cav to shine a little bit, at least to come out and do something where a bunch of Cav could be like, look at this. You see how all the fighting is being condensed on this side from the flag to the east? You could send Cav all the way around here and flank and hit these builders over there, right? Just as an idea. Right? But again, for those of you saying, like, you know, Cav is, you know, not really relevant or doesn't have a lot of opportunities, even though that's the case, there's definitely an opportunity right now, that's for sure. Fahid, what's up? Welcome. Hello, Mr. NASTi. Finally got to your lives. Oh, man, I appreciate you. Thanks. Yeah, I know. You know, this is the time, like now, as of a couple hours. I don't even know how long we've been going for right now. We've been going, oh, wow, we just said an hour. Going around this time, if not a little earlier, is really what I would love to be able to do, because I think this time hits also into like the EU after like late afternoon, evening. So it plays a little bit better. But yeah, like anytime kind of around, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll stream at any time of the day for when I'm eventually able to, right? Which is kind of more of a future pre-planning. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying. EIS and ROE is the biggest fight happening right now. I don't know if this is the biggest fight happening right now. If you want to say that it's the most balanced fight, Evelyn, Mia. Mia, Evelyn. Okay, sorry, I just thought I heard my dog outside for a sec there. Max. Okay, maybe we'll go check on that in a sec. Because I totally thought they could hear me. And they're obviously not hearing me right now. Okay, good. They're okay. I just had to make sure the doggy was fine. But yeah, sorry, what I was saying was that this is probably the most balanced matchup. Again, like I said, we still have to do the T5 breakdown to see how they look on both sides. But as far as alliance to alliance power in this 2v2 in Zone 2, I would argue this is probably the most balanced matchup, and therefore it has the highest percentage chance to go for the longest amount of time and sustain for a while, compared to when you have more imbalanced matchups, or just matchups where the balance is getting farther and farther away. So, yeah, I would probably argue that that is kind of a safe bet, or a soft good assessment from Lorenko. Zachary says, don't you think defense is way easier than attacking in COD? So I will say that I do feel at face value and on paper that defense is, especially for what we saw last season in T1, where people were just hard defending those three primary chokes from west to east and Atherin for Zone 3, especially at that T choke as well that we saw a lot, where we saw that between FS and Dora. We saw that between BXS, EIS, TFS, RR. Gosh, I mean, a couple other of the KvK divisions as well that were happening last season, right? We just saw people that were having difficulties breaking through. However, at the same time, let me say that even though, yeah, do I think that there on paper is some more advantages when it comes to defending than there is attacking, and that's simply because when you're attacking, you're usually, especially in those situations where you're kind of turtling at the chokes, you're having to go into your enemy's territory, and because you're having to go into your enemy's territory, they're getting territory buffs, bonuses, their keeps are attacking you. You are, all right, there might be limited space that you go into Maybe they're even funneling you into certain places as well. So you have to think about those things when you're attacking. And maybe I'm only even naming a couple. But because of those, yeah, there are advantages when you're on defense. However, with saying that, can I safely say that we have seen all different strategies and all different tactical approaches to break a defense, to where I can safely say that, we've seen everything, and yeah, defense is just, like offense is always going to have an uphill battle no matter what? No, I can't say that, because we haven't seen every single way that people can apply different strategies and tactics to try and break a defense, right? I can only speak to what I've seen so far, and I would like to see I'd like to see other styles, right? I want to see more fights and more PvP and KvKs, because I just think that there's other approaches that I just haven't witnessed yet. So that's also another part of what excites me the most, to be able to see a lot of different strategies and formations and attacking patterns when you're trying to break down a choke or trying to break like a defensive turtle. So yeah, again, if I ever get more chances to see that, that's really what I would love to be able to do. And then I feel like once I've seen enough, then I'll probably have a better gauge and idea at that point. But generally speaking, yes, defense generally is easier on average than offense. I think easier is subjective. I'll just say there's clear advantages on defense. And if you want to argue that in some cases it is a bit easier, I'd be okay with that. Fate says, Demon, what's up? Welcome. Dustin, what's up? Keeps her eating good. Yeah, man. Yeah, Bassman, what's up? Fate says BDO is dominating. Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, again, we'll probably go take a look at some others. Listen, man, if ROE and EIS and LSK is popping, we'll hang out a little bit longer. I know we've been here for a minute. That's the thing I have to remember, too, is once we get in somewhere, we need to start a timer. I always keep forgetting that, so I can time out how long I am in a particular KvK if it's popping, just so that way we can try and cover some other stuff, too, as well. Let's see as I'm getting down in chat. I know I'm doing my best. TFS and DS is going at it. Okay, we'll take a look. Willie, what's up? Not enough meta flying heroes. Yeah, I think that's pretty sound, just given that they kind of have a slow approach for the heroes that they're coming out with, which I personally like the pacing, right, compared to them just saying like, hey, here's 10 new heroes every update. That would just be, I just don't think that would be perceived well, generally. So I like the pacing, and do I think that they're eventually going to keep adding more flying heroes? 100%, without a doubt. Just as much as I think they're going to keep adding more heroes. I think really what their goal is right now is they need to make it so they have 10 heroes, 10 legendary heroes specifically, for each unit type, right? So they need to have 10 legendary heroes for marksman, for mage, for cav, for infantry, and for flying. And once that happens, right, I think we'll kind of be at what I would consider a bare minimum, to where you can now argue for kind of role type focusing players to really come out. And to me, that's really where I just think the game is going to go. And I think once we get to that point and we start getting closer to that point, we're going to see a big boom in players who are truly specializing and saying like, dude, I'm infantry only, or I'm cav only, right? Or my specialty is flying, and that to me I think is going to be the next great step for us when it comes to KvK, when it comes to quality, PvP quality, and the amount of tactics and strategies that we can see. I think it's just going to add a whole new layer when we really see it, especially when it's being like hyper specialized and hyper focused at a point in time. Yeah, Chalice, what's up? Slot, what's up, man? SB2-3. Yo, is that our boy Guns? Is that Gunner size me? Gunser size me? What's up, man? BDO tank line, no joke. Dude, yeah. it wasn't even just the tank line. It was like even when they were pushing down into NA, and sorry, it's not NA. Why am I tripping right now? Where's my thing? Hang on, I'm not even doing the right thing. NASA, thank you. People are like, boss, it's NASA, get your shit together right now. But yeah, even when they were pushing down deep into the NASA territory, they were almost going through like a lane here, a lane here, a lane here, a lane here, and yeah, I mean it was just wild, man. Just the disrespect. Death Moth. Neff is still over there. Oh, he is. Where did he move to? Oh, dude, is this slowing down a little bit? Okay, where's the next action going on? If it's going on in 8, we'll go check that out if that's TFS. Let me just take a look real quick so I can see. Okay, oh, maybe there is some fighting going on. Wait, hang on. We saw BDO and CS. Where's... How much fighting is going on? I just want to see that real quick. I mean, there's not a lot. There's not like a lot going on with TFS, ISDS. I mean, there's a little bit, but it's not... Yeah, it's not like a lot. Yeah, I want to see a little bit more. Let's see. Ooh, let's see the ANCS group, because that was something I know I put in if they're still going at it. Oh, dang. Oh, dude, they must have just had a massive fight. Because there's a lot of dead that's running back right now. Oh, they did. Wow, they're getting pushed right now. Okay. Man, we were just a little bit late. So it's like ANCS, GN, JA, and ROA just had a pretty big fight. So yeah, and they're staging right now, but they're not... There's nothing like really ready. We're gonna keep looking around while we keep watching this one just to see. Ooh, okay. Oh, this might be nice. Hang on, let me see here. So we're looking at DBB and Hoot in SB2-3, and they're fighting against RR. There's not like a lot. I mean, they're connected in Baduria, but there's not... I don't know if I'd say it's like overwhelming. I think we're probably more likely to see EIS and ROE jam at it again. Yeah. Okay, let me get down a little bit more here. Where am I at right now? I'm totally trying to catch up on chat. What up, Brown? We see BDO's about to push. Oh, here we go. I'm finally getting back to guns now. Gun says, BN, how much do you think they will increase, if any, the server capacity for new realms? Do you mean the new realms as in just like a new server? Or do you mean... Oh, sorry, you mean for the realm system. Okay. So, I mean, they've already stated that they are planning to increase the server, the kingdom capacity or the realm capacity from season to season, where it's eventually going to plateau at a certain point, right? So they've stated that. Now, could you maybe think... Ooh, nice. Look, it looks like it's about to go back in again. Do we think that it's probably going to be something where Season 2, like end of Season 2, will that be the first recruiting phase? And then when we go into Season 3, that'll be where you see the first bump, right? Or will Season 2 be the first time where they increase the server capacity, then Season 3 they'll increase it, and then maybe after Season 3 they'll kind of stagnate it a bit, or start lowering or reducing, and eventually to maybe where it just kind of plateaus. I think there's a couple ways that they're going to do it, but they have already stated that they are going to be increasing server capacity or realm capacity, right? And they said they're going to do it a couple times, and then eventually it's going to level out. So we know they're going to increase it because they've stated that much. But as far as how much capacity do I think they're going to do, as far as like, will they increase the amount of slots available for normal, active, and crowded status kingdoms, where we know normal is 350, active is 200, and crowded we assume is like 75 to 100, give or take. Do we think those numbers will increase season to season? Possibly. Will it just be the max allowed that will increase? And maybe if they increase the max amount, maybe will that factor into what your activity status will be, right? Similarly to when they increased server capacity before in that impromptu or spontaneous update, right? That also made it so some full status kingdoms went to crowded, some crowded went to active. Do we think that can happen? Because that did happen when that big change came out a little while ago. So, you know, I think without a doubt that I think the biggest question really to ask is, you know, hopefully are they going to allow for us to see what those numbers are in real time, right? So when kingdoms open, depending on their status, will they show us the available slot numbers? And then if people are joining or leaving, will they update those slot numbers in real time? So an example would be like, let's say you have an active status kingdom and it shows that you have 200 spots available. When people are migrating in and out of your kingdom, will those numbers update in real time? I think that would be great, because then we'll be able to get a more accurate gauge on, one, you know, how does that look like season to season based on who's leaving and who's not? Because remember, you can only start leaving once the season gets to its migration phase, right, near the season end. So by the time it comes up, if they end up, like, let's say they end up increasing the max kingdom capacity prior to the migration phase opening, then you can start actually getting a better gauge on, okay, well, did my kingdom go from active to normal? Did my kingdom go from crowded to normal, active? Did my kingdom go from full to crowded? Then you could say, like, okay, well, from season 2 to season 3, or from season 3 to season 4, they on average probably gave us like 100 to 200 more spots, right? Like, you can start looking at the data and kind of pulling together some soft gauges there. But yeah, it's basically a long way of me just saying that, you know, I think, like, if I had to lock in on a number, I mean, I wouldn't know. You know, like I said, could they increase server caps by like 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 players? Sure. Do I think they're going to increase server caps by 1,000 per season? Probably not. Like, I think we can have some realistic expectations. If I had to gauge it, I would probably say like something between 100 and 200. I think that's probably fair. Maybe 100, 250, right, from season to season, and maybe that number starts off higher as you get into your first season where the cap is being increased for your home kingdom, and then the next season after that it's a little bit lower, and then the third season a little bit lower, and then maybe the fourth season is kind of just where it starts plateauing. But, you know, we don't even know what the current cap is right now, and that would just be incredibly helpful. Right? Now, what we can do, and bear in mind there is a way we can actually try to figure this out. And this is something I'm actually going to do. So, Guns, if you're interested in this, I will actually be doing a data collection project once Home Kingdoms release that will actually be able to start getting some averages, some soft averages on what the current sizes of kingdom capacities are based on their current activity status. So, like, that's something I'm actually going to work on. And we can actually pull the data to show that. So that actually might give us a baseline threshold to work off of once they once they start increasing the capacities from season to season. We can probably compare that and then probably get some really interesting data. But yeah, I mean that would be my number, I think, at minimum. LNV BXS SB2-3. Oh, are they going at it right now? We'll have to take a look here in a sec. Let me see. Yo, guys, we're at 23 likes, 2 more to 25. We can do it. Yeah, man. I mean, I got to give a huge shout out here, man, to ROE, ROR, EIS, and LSK. I mean, they are just going at it nonstop right now. Let me see here. Ooh, I might want to look at this, dude. TM and TS against TT. Oh, dude, they got some good numbers here in SB2-5. I wonder if this is about to go down. Because they're at a bridge right now. And they have some decent size. Yeah. Yes, are we? Perhaps, like, do I have to make you another profile picture? Lucas, what's up? Hey, boss. You think they'll add heroes like Madeline or Kanara in the future to gold chests? So, you know, I've talked about this before, and part of me really wants to put a suggestion out about this because I really believe it, is that my view on heroes being released is pretty simple. Once again, if I was going to do my own kingdom builder, this is probably exactly how I do it, or more or less, is that when new heroes are being released, they should always be released in a premium or pay-to-win aspect for a limited period of time. Once that time elapses, if it's, let's say, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it may be, after that, they should be added, not removed, from their current spending or premium way, whether that's, again, in the wheel, if that's in a bundle, if that's in VIP, etc. But they should be added, which is, and in addition to, they should be added to the gold chests, right? So let's say, a good example. So Margaret and Zendaya just came out. Let's say you wait 2 months for them to be out. And then once they're out for 2 months, they're automatically added to gold chests. And then you can start drawing them from gold chests. That, to me, I think, is a lot better. I think it makes the game a lot more free-to-play friendly. And if you really are worried about increasing the percentage odds that much, you could do something. And this is questionable on how you want to approach this, because I've kind of been tinkering with this idea of, well, if you have a hero that's awakened, like you have them at max skill level, do you just remove them from the gold chest temporarily? So this way it gives everyone an opportunity to increase their percentages, right? So this is kind of like an individual thing per player. So let's say, for example, you've maxed out Garwood and Nika in the gold chest. Once you've maxed them out and you've awakened them, those heroes are removed from the gold chest. So that way your percentages, the percentages that they had, are either they're just removed from it, and then now you can only pull other legendary heroes, or maybe their percentages are split evenly between all the other gold heroes in there, and that just gives you now a better chance of pulling other legendary heroes. Now, there's a couple ways you can do it, but generally speaking, that's something I like, which is just the heroes at minimum moving to the gold chest after they have been released for a period of time. Because we all know in most cases the majority of heroes are not released in gold chests, they're released in premium or spender areas, where you either have to pay money or you have to use gems. And so, you know, it's and the way I look at it is pretty simple.